Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share a trio of cards that I created for the Hero Arts blog a month or two ago, and I never got around to sharing the video on my channel, so here we are. I am using the small and large flower layering fancy dies from the Friendship Blooms collection from Hero Arts. These quickly became a favorite of mine. I love being able to create flowers and layered flowers at that. So I absolutely love this set. The first thing I did was die cut plenty of them out of white cardstock, and then I used Pesto cardstock to cut the leaves. I think I cut about 6 leaves and about 5 of each of the flowers and the flower centers. I then laid them all out and I began ink blending. So for these, I used a mix of reactive inks as well as some Glitz inks. I used lemon drop, creamsicle, fruit punch, key lime fizz, and then for the reactive Glitz inks, I used Byzantine green and Spanish orange. My process here was to gather all of the flowers that were alike and kind of ink blend in the same order, starting from lightest to darkest. So lemon drop first, then some creamsicle. In the centers there, I did use the Spanish orange, just trying to make that pop even more. I repeated this process for all of my flowers and tried to make them as similar as possible, and yet I still ended up kind of mixing them up, but I wanted to do each layer similarly and make sure that they coordinated well. If there was a dark center, I wanted to make sure that the background layer was still lighter. I just wanted everything to look pretty cohesive across the 3 cards. I don't do this often, and I probably should, but I did enjoy this process. For the leaves, I went over those with Byzantine green, and I did add a little key lime fizz. These glitz add such a beautiful sparkle, so if you have not used them, try them out. They are comparable to like the Lisa Horton interference inks, so check any of those out. I love using my glitz inks. Once I finished the pesto leaves, I did go in and just ink up some of the smaller leaves that I die cut from white. But again, I just continue my process and try to ink up all of the die cuts that I cut out. Moving right along, I grabbed a piece of cardstock in the color Peacock, and I cut those down to A2 sized panels. Again, my process is sped up quite a bit because I didn't want you to watch me fiddle around, but I did play around with the placement of all of my flowers and leaves on each card before I went in and actually created the background. I wanted to make sure that I utilized all of these beautiful flowers and I didn't want any to go to waste. So I moved things around as much or as little as I thought necessary. You will see what I've come up with for now, and then of course once I get my backgrounds completed, things may change just a little bit. I then went in with the Pearl Strings Bold Prints Cling Stamp and some clear embossing powder. On 2 of those panels I added that stamped, and then I just splattered white on that 3rd panel. Once all of my panels were dry, I moved on to adding my flowers back into place. Before I set them to the side previously, I did take a picture, so you'll see me referencing my photographs on my phone to guide me and make sure that I'm just not going off script and that I have enough flowers left over. I also went ahead and stamped out the sentiments. I used these same colors, that lemon drop, the fruit punch, and the creamsicle. I used the clear stamp and die set for the month of April, and I just stamped those sentiments out and die cut those out also. And I made sure that when I was putting my flowers into place, I kind of referenced which sentiments I wanted to use and where I wanted to place them. When I am using florals, not only did I put them together by using foam for the layers, I pop them up on my card front using foam so that nothing is completely flat and that there is just a little bit of movement. I love thick cards. I love dimensional cards. I love flowers and stuff that pop. So when I was creating this, I tried to stay true to that and I truly enjoyed the outcome. There was not enough white splatter throughout this panel, so I did go in with the white gel pen to kind of mimic some of my splatters that were on one side of my floral bunch. So that is also a tip for you. If you do not have enough white splatter, grab your white jelly roll pen and add your faux splatter where you need it without ruining everything else that you may have going on. For this last panel, I did cut down the blue panel because I did not want it to, there was too much space behind that flower. So I wanted to kind of keep the eye centered on what was important. Since there was only that one flower, I cut that down to about 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then I just popped that up onto a white panel. But here are my 3 completed cards. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and it provides you with a little bit of inspiration. If you have any flower dies that are layered, this could definitely be used, as well as this color palette. It was something I would normally gravitate to, but I do enjoy how things turned out. Also, if you have a nice background textured stamp, consider embossing it with clear embossing powder just to give a little bit of tone on tone look for a background. But yeah, guys, that is all that I have. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.